everybody. Welcome to Awesome Comics, your one-stop shop for everything comic book entertainment. Today is the return of our Versus series. In this Versus series, we take two of our panelists with opposing views, and we have them fight out a specific topic right here on the show. Today's topic.
Can you guess?
I don't know.
Who could it be?
I don't know. We've got Scarlet Spider versus Spider-Gwen. So,
Flip.
who is the better alternate version of Spider-Man? We'll get into specifics on that in a minute. But first, we want you to make sure you like the Facebook page, and that's at Facebook.com/Awesome Comics Show. And
I'm going to be doing an episode this week exclusive to Facebook on Thursday talking about Spider-Gwen. We'll get into that later.
More Spider-Gwen. She loves it. We love it. It's good stuff. Okay, and then new videos go up every Thursday, like she said. Thank you for taking part in our first Facebook Live Q&A video this past Saturday. We hope to do more of those in the future. Yeah. So let's get to our panelists. First here we've got Ayana Wade.
That's me, I guess.
And then to my left.
Spider-Man?
No.
No, wait.
Wait, that's not Spider-Man?
No.
Who is it?
It's me, guys.
It's Moses the whole time!
The whole time, it was me. This is so weird being on this side of the table today.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's good. I'm excited.
It's an interesting view, right?
Yeah, it is. It is different.
Yeah?
I will admit, it is very, very
The
different.
power in that seat, man.
I feel it.
I've been there.
I
You know,
feel it. It's
Like, what, twice now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility. Thank
Oh,
you.
who
Thank
said
you.
that?
We need like
Thank you.
an infinity gauntlet power.
For whoever sits in the seat, that'd be actually really cool.
Yeah,
We
we
need
do.
that.
Let's write
It
that
needs to
down.
happen.
All right, let's get this rolling. First, we're going to do Ayana's character history on Spider-Gwen.
All right.
Take it away.
Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman debuted in Edge of Spider-Verse #2 in September 2014 as part of the Spider-Verse comic book storyline. Her warm reception and popular design led to her own series Spider-Gwen in 2015, where in this Earth-65 alternate universe, Gwen Stacy was bitten by the radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker and becomes Spider-Woman.
All right, very informative. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Walter, go ahead with your character history on Scarlet Spider.
Ben Reilly is the first fully successful clone of Peter Parker created by his nemesis, Professor Miles Warren, aka the Jackal. His first appearance was in The Amazing Spider-Man #149 in October of 1975, but is much more famous upon his return in the infamous Clone Saga. He re-debuted with the name Ben Reilly, a combination of Uncle Ben and Aunt May's maiden name, in Spider-Man #51 back in October of 1994. Ben's rich character history includes leaving New York after finding out he was a clone of Peter. After many adventures on the road and years away from his home, Ben caught wind that Aunt May was in the hospital with a serious illness. He then returned to be by her side. His homecoming eventually resulted in Ben taking up the Scarlet Spider identity and even later becoming Spider-Man for a time when Peter retired after his wife, Mary Jane Watson, became pregnant. He was killed in a battle with the Green Goblin, but remains a popular cult figure who, from time to time, resurfaces in some form or another in various comics since he met his end in the 90s.
Awesome.
Yes.
Sounds like you had a really storied history back
He
there.
does. Really does.
All right, with further ado, let's get to question number one. That is, if they were to fight each other, who would win? Ayana, take it away.
All right. So Spider-Gwen in her universe is like notorious for having to deal with lame villains. So she's beaten the Vulture, but she has to go up against people like Koala Commander, the Bodega Bandit.
Oh, that is
So
terrible.
although she does a great job keeping her universe safe, it's very difficult to judge how she stands up against regular heroes when she's only given terrible villains to fight. It's very hard. However, in Spider-Gwen Annual #1, she does end up teaming up with She-Hulk to wrestle after they go against each other in a wrestling match, luchador style. And the announcer announces that maybe She-Hulk has met her match. So she's very strong. She's also a very good teammate. She's a very strong standalone character, but a very good teammate in the Spider Army, which she is a part of. And I don't know, I think on puns alone, Spider-Gwen would win.
Okay, what about like her actual fighting style though? How does she fight usually? Like,
So her powers, we're going ahead into powers then. She has nearly identical powers to Spider-Man. She is this Earth-65 universe's version of Spider-Man. So Peter Parker never becomes Spider-Man. Gwen Stacy is actually bitten by the spider. Peter Parker actually ends up becoming the Lizard and dies. So Peter Parker ends up kind of becoming her Uncle Ben and reason to continue as a superhero, giving her the drive to do that. So she has the same powers. She's able to stick and climb on walls. She has a spidey sense for danger. She's able to lift 10 tons. She has enhanced speed, endurance, agility. She has expert detecting skills and analytical thinking. Obviously, she also has good detective skills because her father is a detective. And she's a freestyle fighter. So we're sort of in her part of her like origin story still. It's not quite fleshed out of who she is as a character still, which makes for very interesting storytelling. Very difficult for figuring out how she would hold up one-on-one. So it's cool, but she's a very freestyle fighter, so she's not as trained yet, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fluid in battle.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Okay, so first of all, there's no way Ben Reilly would fight any version of Gwen Stacy.
Right.
Let's just get that off the bat right now. There's absolutely no way, unless he was
Such
under
a
mind
gentleman.
control. Ben Reilly is Peter Parker, basically, so, I mean, he would never fight
There'd be too
Gwen
many
Stacy.
emotional
Yeah.
things going on here.
There's no way. But if they were to actually fight, Ben is much more experienced with his powers than Gwen Stacy is at this point. Spider-Woman in this current run is still very young. Is she still high school or just right after high
No,
school?
she's college.
She's college.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so she's still like in her like early 20s at the
Yep.
oldest right now. Ben has all the memories of Spider-Man up until his cloning, and you know that whole other life he made for himself gave him different experiences and stuff, and he learned new things that Spider-Man never experienced. So he has all of Peter Parker with these different experiences that he went on the road and got to take part in himself. So he's about like in his early 30s or late 20s, I think, in the main run that he appeared in. So yeah, he knows what to do in high pressure situations. He like Peter Parker, he can analyze a situation, figure things out. He's very used to his powers. Where again, Spider-Gwen isn't quite. She just got her powers like in the comic like a year ago or something, right? So she's still very inexperienced. Yeah, he also enjoys fighting more than Peter Parker does, which is an interesting tidbit. Ben Reilly enjoys fighting more. That might be from his years on the road, just sort of fighting to
Brawling it
survive.
out, yeah.
So he enjoys fighting more. He's also extremely smart. He's Peter's clone, so he has the genius level scientific intellect. So I think he's smarter than Gwen, and he beats her just about in every way in a matchup. You know,
Okay.
I mean, it's not much of an argument. There's a wild card that she might win. I mean, you never know. But I just think it's kind of a mismatch at this point until she gets a little older and more experienced.
Okay.
So here's the thing, though.
What's the thing?
Multiverse wristwatch.
What is
Gwen is able to travel from the multiverses,
Okay.
from multiverse to multiverse in any area at all because of a wristwatch. So she could zip out, be back right behind you, punch you in the back of the head.
That's a good.
So
sense.
okay,
She
use
does
it as a
actually.
teleportation
Yeah.
type
So it's
sense.
basically yes, but
Okay.
teleport to the different
So
multiverses.
she teleports via space and time. So she's not
She does.
so she's not linear in where
Also,
she.
she can go back in time. And, okay.
Okay.
It's not time.
No, it's not time. No, it's not time.
Just
Okay, so
That would be amazing though, because I was just thinking of like Dr. Spider Gwen, and I got really excited. Sorry. Ugh, that'd be so cool, but no.
oh, okay. All right. Let's see it.
Yep. So space.
Okay. Well, I mean
Space.
that is an advantage, but I think that the spider sense would probably kick in before she can really do any damage with that. I mean,
Well, how far does the spider sense go? Does it go between the multiverses?
as soon as she appears behind him, he'd
Sure.
probably at least catch it. So she'd have to be super precise. I don't know how
Right.
precise that watch is. If she appears like right behind him, is already like swinging for a punch or something, maybe she can get the jump on him.
We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, it would be an interesting fight. I don't think it'd be a long fight at this point, but it would be interesting to say the least. Okay.
Okay, let's go on to question 2. Who uses their spider abilities like the best or the most? Who really like holds it down with just their spider abilities?
I'll start gladly. Okay, so as I said before, he's a clone of Peter Parker, so he has all of Peter's knowledge and everything. He has all the experience that Peter has up until the point he was cloned. So he has all that behind him. But Ben also invented ways of using his abilities that Peter never even thought of. He invented impact webbing. These are fired out as a miniature web pellet that explode on impact, encasing a target within a web cocoon and rendering him or her virtually immobile. He invented stingers. Those are small diamond-shaped darts coated in a paralyzing chemical agent to incapacitate opponents. He also invented mini dot tracers that are shaped like miniature frisbees and are much smaller and lighter than Peter's spider tracers. They're 1/4 of the size, which are much faster when fired from the web shooters. He's also a bit darker with his powers and more stealthy. There's a couple stories with him on the road that he sort of uses powers like Batman. He's like in a house in shadows and comes out is just more mysterious in the way he fights people. And it's really cool. He's kind of like a scary character sometimes when he gets mad.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm Spider-Man. All that, and like I said, he has Peter's intellect, and Spider-Man, who obviously the Peter Parker version of Spider-Man uses his powers to the full potential that he possibly can, and Ben has that within him. So, yeah, Ben knows how to use his spider powers pretty well.
Okay.
So her spider powers obviously are the same as Spider-Man.
same web shooters and everything?
Same web shooters. They actually they were created by Janet Van Dyne, who's in the 65 universe.
Okay.
And so she made her new ones, and they filter moisture from the air that can help create like the adhesiveness to them. So she swings. She uses them as ropes, as globs. They don't require a refill as long as there's moisture present. So they don't run
Really?
out. As long as there's moisture present, she's good to go.
That's
So she's
interesting.
able
That
to do
come in
that.
handy.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of a battle, just thwip, nothing. We've seen it before.
It happens a lot.
So
Well, unless you're able to suck the moisture out of
So,
the
yeah, that-
world,
that would be-
which I
The
don't
worst.
think is a spider power, but you know.
No, but it was.
I'm just saying,
But
like,
some
you know,
things
she
can
could have
happen.
that
So like,
against
there's
Ben
still
Reilly.
like a thing that could happen there. But yep, there's no refills. So if they're going on endurance alone, maybe she can't run them.
With the webs,
might be
yeah.
spent on the webs.
Right.
But yeah, so she's basically the same because she's this universe's version. So she's able to lift, she's able to climb, she uses it to fight every night, sometimes at the detriment of her band,
The Mary Jane.
the Mary Janes.
Yeah, that's-
And they have the Face It Tiger song is real now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I
Have
was
you not heard
reading
it? Oh
last
my
night.
God.
Face it. I don't know how
Yeah,
it sounds.
go look it up, guys. I'm
There's
not
a lot
gonna
of
sing it
A's
for
in
you
the
now.
face.
Yeah.
You should definitely sing it.
No.
A couple bars.
Nope.
Oh, fine.
Go look it up. It's a real song now.
Does she use her
so-
power? Does either of them use their powers like when they're not in Spider-Man gear, Spider-Gwen gear? Like, do they use it a lot in their personal life?
Yeah, Ben. I mean, when he went on the road, he didn't want anything to do with Spider-Man or being a vigilante or anything like that. So he kind of just used his powers. Like one of the most important things about Ben when he went on the road was that he didn't want to have anything to do with Spider-Man. So he basically cast his powers aside, didn't really use them, except when he's like really pushed. So like there's a little story where he overhears someone's gonna rob a house or something at a certain time, and that's where that him coming out of the shadows thing comes in and stuff. So he does use it a lot out of costume because at that point he really didn't care. He didn't want to be Spider-Man anymore at that point, so he didn't want anything to do with Peter Parker. Or he wanted to create a completely new life for himself. So he does use his powers, when he's really pushed. When there's something in front of him, he can't turn down that responsibility. So whether he's in or out of costume, he uses his powers. I mean, he tries to conceal his face a little bit. There's a couple things where he's got a bandana. Also, can I say, in the main run, Ben Reilly has the sweetest mullet I think I've ever seen in a comic book character.
90s mullet.
Yeah, he's got Final
Even
Fox
better
hair and a
than
mullet.
Nightwing mullet.
No, it's better than Nightwing mullet
Oh.
because it's
Even
curly.
Kyle Rayner's.
Did Kyle Rayner have a mullet? I don't think
Back
he
in
did.
I could have
I
sworn he
don't
had a
think
mullet.
Kyle Rayner had a mullet, but I'm pretty. I know Ben Reilly did. It was a nice, flowing, curly,
God.
brown mullet with some nice 5 o'clock shadow. Like guy looked so gruff, and he was riding a motorcycle.
Okay, hair alone, then Spider-Man automatically wins because she has an amazing bob and a headband,
She
and
does
it's
have
awesome.
a bob. Yes, it's a little
She
different
does.
than
It's
the main
very
one.
different, yeah. It's more modern. It's like a modern like new millennia thing.
Right.
Yeah. But no, she mostly doesn't use it in her everyday life. She's still in that like zone of her career too, where she's still trying to hide who she is. Her dad knows that she's Spider-Gwen though. That came up because
Yeah.
she keeps being hunted by the police.
I thought that was interesting.
Gwen!
Awesome.
But in the most recent issue, number 11, she basically is like forced to step up with her responsibility and like kind of comes out just busting through a wall. So yeah, so she'll be starting to use them out of costume. It looks like,
Right.
At least to throw
So-
people through shit.
Final question. I like this one the most. Who is the more interesting character overall? Who's the most interesting read?
You want me to start? I will.
Go for it.
Okay, so I think Ben is one of the most interesting characters in all the MCU. I think he's super underrated.
statement.
Yeah, I think he's extremely underrated. I love Ben Reilly. He is Peter Parker, but if all this crazy clone stuff happened to him. I mean, imagine that you think you're a person your whole life, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're not the person you thought you were. How do you reconcile that. Ben gets lost for a while. He goes on the road. He doesn't really have an identity, doesn't know who he is. And him coming back to New York and everything is what sort of made his circle complete. I mean, yeah, the fact that he's not a stereotypical evil clone, that's a great idea. I love the idea of a guy being cloned. I think we talked about this in the Batman Top 10 about his Silicon Soul, sort of retaining morality if he's really a clone or a copy of someone. And yeah, Ben is perfect for that. He shares Peter's values and he puts them to the test in different ways because Ben is, been involved in some bad situations when he was away from New York for those years. But he's a really tragic character, I think, and this is important because everything he thought, like I said, was ripped away from him. He thought he was ripped away from him, and he had to rebuild his life from the ground up. Even more tragic because he eventually returned to being Spider-Man after all those years. He was accepted as a brother by Peter and a member of the Parker family. He came all the way back, and after regaining all that, he dies sacrificing himself to save Peter. After all of that, just when he regained some semblance of what he lost, he dies, saving the original Peter Parker. The years on the road also made him a more gruff character. He really became a different person and a different character than Peter after those experiences and when all was said and done. So without a doubt, I think he's the more interesting character than Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Gwen is definitely the more interesting character. Right off the bat, she's a drummer for the Mary Janes, which is awesome. She has the multiverse wristwatch. She can travel through dimensions. There's a whole series of the Spider-Man traveling through the multiverse with Silk and Jessica Drew Spider-Woman. We've talked about it on the show before, actually, where they have adventures because of the multiverse wristwatch, which is awesome. Her design, first off, is fantastic. That helped with her character's popularity in general, and it helps that she stands out completely from Silk and Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, and even holds her own as a female variant of Spider-Man. She's not just like okay, we technically made Peter a girl, Patricia or something. Yeah. Patricia Parker. Patricia. She holds her own as a character. And in some of the lists of the best alternate Spider-Man that you can find online, Newsarama ranked Ben Reilly at number 6 and Spider-Gwen at number 7. However, Screen Rant ranked her at number 2 and Ben at number 8. Oh. Comics Alliance, no Ben, sorry, but Spider-Gwen was number 2 again. And then comicbook.com ranked Spider-Gwen as number 4. And thanks to Spider-Gwen, we now have characters like Gwenpool and Gwenom.
Gwenom? There's a Gwenom?
Oh, yeah.
No
Gwenom?
shit. Gwen Venom, like Venom Gwenom? Gwenom.
That's enough of that.
So, no, there's not enough of it. So I think she is just a really, really interesting character. We get to see an origin story for Spider-Man that's something we haven't seen. We get to see it through the eyes of a female, which is interesting, but also it's not just a copy. It's not like a photocopy. We're not getting the same stuff. We get to see a really completely different person having to go through similar things and becoming like a completely different person, and yet such a similar person in general becoming a superhero. So,
okay. Yeah. They both sound very interesting. I'd love to see Ben come back and be in
I was going to say, Dan Slott, bro.
Bring him back.
But this,
there's the Clone Conspiracy. Can I just say this really quick?
Okay.
There's an arc that's coming out, I think, next month called The Clone Conspiracy that's bringing back the Jackal in the main continuity with Spider-Man. And they're already bringing back other characters. Please bring back Ben Reilly. Please, Dan. If anyone, please share this with Dan Slott. I don't know if he's going to see this or not. Probably not. But Dan, bring back Ben Reilly. For the love of God, man, you've been teasing it for years.
You're upset.
Bring him back. I'm sorry. Please bring him back. Please. I want Ben back. Not the main continuity Ben.
Well, I'm not interested in Gwenpool, but Gwenom seems seems so off the wall, but I'd like to actually see that a little bit.
It's like a pink symbiote or something?
That would be so funny. Is it a pink symbiote?
We'll see.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not giving anything away. We're talking about Spider-Gwen right now, not
true.
Gwenom. Different episode.
All right, that was awesome. It was a good banter between you guys. I like it. So let's go to the picks of the week.
Cool. Go pick up Spider-Gwen Annual 1 for many, many reasons, as I bend it and ruin it forever. But for one of the reasons, just right off the top of my head, I showed you guys this earlier, The Trump MODOK is hilarious.
That's so funny.
Hilarious. The image of just Trump as MODOK with his tiny little hands
It's
saying
tremendous,
like,
tremendous.
I want to crush you. Can't find it. Where the hell is it?
They used to be
Anyways, yeah, I went past it. Anyways, it's amazing. Also, there's definitely in the like luchador scene, like right at the beginning, there's freaking Lafayette and Hercules Mulligan. And he, yeah. What? Amazing. And then there's also Captain America holding a hot sauce bat in here. That's amazing.
Hot sauce.
Hot
bat?
sauce bat. Beyonce, bitch.
I don't know.
Oh my God. We'll talk.
All right.
And then the Spider
idea.
Gwen, like penguin. Oh, there's MODOK. There you go. Trump MODOK. Oh, look at him with his
boy.
tiny little hands. Oh, so cute.
That's a commentary.
Wait for that.
So
It was
good. Yeah, this is an amazing issue. We got Spider Gwen, penguin.
That's cool.
So good.
Spider
It's just a
Gwen.
really fun compilation
She
of
seems very punny.
some stories.
She is.
Yeah.
She's extremely funny.
She's
Yeah.
super punny and amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walt, what's your pick of the week?
Okay, so I have a couple. So there's been over the past few years, they've been releasing the entire Ben Reilly run called the Complete Clone Saga Epic, which also turned into the Complete Ben Reilly Epic. It's 11 giant volumes like this. And I'm still making my way through them. I'm only on the 6th volume. So it's a long way to read, but
They're a
if you
little
want...
hard to find, aren't they?
No, you can
Some of
find them
them.
on Amazon, most of them. I mean, there's like one, I think volume 4 is a little bit difficult to find, but you can find a used one on Amazon or something like that. But yeah, it's really cool because you get to see every single book that he was ever really in since the 90s. And I'm reading through it right now, and I could see why people kind of didn't like some things about Ben Reilly, about the whole Clone Saga thing, because it went on for so long. But the main idea is still really cool. So I have that. Also, the Clone Saga, they went back and did it. Tom DeFalco went back and redid the Clone Saga in just 6 issues, and they called it the real Clone Saga with a lot of different things happening. So these are really cool. It's a more streamlined version of them. So thanks for spreading that out there.
Who's
man.
that?
Who's who?
The blonde in the headband?
That's Gwen Stacy.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah, not Gwen Poole or Spider Gwen. It's Gwen Stacy, unfortunately.
Well, Spider Gwen is
it's actually just
is
the
Gwen
clone.
Stacy. The other ones aren't Gwen Stacy.
Right. Well, whatever. Yeah, there's a Gwen in the name.
Saying.
But anyway, yeah, that's if you're looking for a more condensed version of that storyline, check out these 6 issues. They're in trade paperback form right now, so go and check those out. Also, just want to mention really quick, these are the first comic books I ever bought at a comic book shop when I was like 8. Yeah, so these are Spider-Man, Ben Reilly. I've been with him since the beginning. Okay, so
That's awesome.
that's what I wanted to mention.
Well, thank you very much, guys. That was really enlightening on those 2 awesome characters. Hopefully, you guys want to read a little bit more of them. Let us know who you think won this argument, this little versus here. Who's the cooler character?
Who's cooler even still as an alternate Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Who's your
for
favorite
sure.
alternate Spider-Man?
All right. Now, be sure to tune in next week. We'll be talking about our favorite comic book writers and artists. And
That's right,
that
all
is going
comic
to
issue
be-
guys.
We got a special awesome guest that he's going to be here, so wait, check that out. And it's a great episode. Can't wait to talk about that one. So for social media, where can we find you guys at?
Well, you can find me at awesome_Walter on Twitter. That's where I'm at.
All right. Right on.
I'm on Twitter, Facebook. Also, don't forget to check out our Facebook, where this Thursday I will be talking about Spider-Gwen on Ultimate Spider-Man, who's appearing in this week's episode. It was up Saturday the 17th, once this episode's up. So we'll talk about the Return to the Spider-Verse Part 4.
Cool.
So I'm excited to see her on there and see voice acting and stuff. We'll see how
it
how
goes.
she goes. Yeah, I'm excited.
New medium for her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. And you can find me on Facebook.com/AwesomePorter. So from everybody here, I'm Brian Porter. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next page.
Whip, 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 whip.